What's going on, guys? Chuck back with another awesome Blu-ray purchase, and this is a big one. This is one it's been teased for the better part of a year, I believe. The first filmings of an announcement were made probably around Black Friday of last year, and here we are, just weeks away from Black Friday of this year, and this long-awaited release has finally come out from Vinegar Syndrome. Of course, that one being the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. 4K edition. Like I said, this was a big announcement. They talked about for, like I said, pretty much the better part of the entire year. And just, I think it was halfway to Black Friday sale, maybe, is when this finally went up for sale. So I snatched it up immediately. A very, very fun movie, and it's awesome to see it getting this great treatment. You remember the last. This will be the third version I own of this movie. I had the MGM DVD. Then not too long ago, probably about 2 years or so ago, after trying forever, I picked up the Scream Factory edition, which is a great edition. Of course, long out of print, and it took me some digging to pick this up along with the slipcover. But then I just, like I said, I'd heard that Vinegar Syndrome was putting out another beautiful 4K release. I had to pick it up, and I'm really glad I did. First, let me give you a little history, my history with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Funny enough, this is the very first Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie I ever saw, and I saw it at a drive-in when it was released, and I was 86, I believe. I can't remember. I know what obviously the first part double featured. I can't remember what the second movie was. I really don't know. I think it was another horror slash film, but I'm not quite sure. But I mean, I knew about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and of course, '86 that would have put me at like 11 years old, so right about Chris's age when it came out. At that time, I knew I'd done a lot of reading on horror films and a lot of research. I'd seen a few things here and there, but there was always a couple of those, I don't want to say taboo titles when you're a kid, or at least that time that, you hear about, they're like, ooh, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre was one of them. I'd heard a lot about it. It was the scariest film ever. It's so gruesome, it's so gory, it's so intense. And there was like no way I was going to see this movie. Not that I didn't want to, as I had no way of getting to see it at the time, videotape or VCRs. I think it may have been a thing then, but I don't think we were renting them. And of course, my mom was gonna let me rent that, which actually might have if I ever thought about it. I'm not really sure. Anyway, so I never got to see it. All I knew was about its reputation. Of course, the thought of it is, Bill, I'm imagining it's this extremely gory, taboo, sick movie. So I was really stoked that we're going to go see Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And honestly, I don't remember my impression of the film when I saw it as a young kid at the drive-in, except thinking, this is really cool. And I had a lot of fun with it, that much you knew. And that's probably a good thing, because I know that upon its initial release, it didn't get the favorable reviews and love that it currently has now. A lot of people compare it to the original, and not favorably so. Thought it was just way too much humor in it. Didn't appreciate it. And looking back on it now, it's easy to see why. I mean, the first two films are almost like totally different animals. I mean, the humor is more obvious, and two, there's black humor in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it's not quite as in your face as this one is, and not the second one doesn't take itself quite as seriously, and that's a good thing. I mean, it's fun. I think it's what Tobe Hooper wanted and intended, and I think it comes out well. I mean, over time, or I should say, time has been kind to the film. It's shown years of people come around to it. It's become highly appreciated, and I think one of the biggest reasons for that is because of the sequels that have followed since Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 have been all over the place. and I think people will come back and really appreciate what Two did and what it is, and rightfully so, because it's a fun movie. It really is. I mean, you got Dennis Hopper wielding holstered chainsaws. I mean, what more could you ask for? And just being Dennis Hopper. Caroline Williams as Stretch is great. You've got just, oh my gosh, a lot of, the cook from the first one, whose name is drawing a blank on me right now. He comes back and he's putting on a great performance. Bill Moseley, Chop Top, iconic character in itself. Just everything he does in that is just fun to watch, and that was my first introduction to him. I realized he's obviously gone on and do so many more things. But this was, I remember it was a very fun movie, and I'm glad I got to see it when I did. I kind of forgot about it over the years because, again, it wasn't at that time. Things weren't readily available. A couple months down the line to pop up and buy, or not that we were doing that anyways. I believe eventually we got a VHS copy of it, either off of cable or other nefarious means. We did a lot of dubbing, of videotapes back then. I mean, I'm sure we were the only ones. And I can't remember if we did it from that or if it was off cable. But so I got a lot of rewatches over the years. But as I got older, I got to appreciate this film a lot more. And that being said, too, much years later, I got to see the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it's funny. We go back to tell that story real quick, as I'm not, deviating enough as it is. When I saw the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I finally saw it probably in my late teens with me and a couple of friends of mine. We went rented it and say, hey, we're going to rent Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're going to see what all this is about. We're going to watch this and we're going to brave it out and see how just, depraved and sick and vile this movie really is. And I hate to say that we laughed all the way through it. Not to say we didn't enjoy it. I think the dynamic of the four of us watching it, we're just riffing at it, so it takes away something from the fear of that. We knew we enjoyed it, but I was like, this is, I don't see the terror in this. It's just kind of, it's just whatever. It's funny, Franklin is just hilarious, and you just want to, you love to hate him, but feel sorry for him at the same time. It's weird dynamic with Franklin. But so that was my initial reaction to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Fast forward to several years later, it's in my collection. I decided to sit down and watch the movie Home Alone one night, and my opinion of it greatly changed. I think I could actually sit down and focus on it and appreciate the sense of dread it gave me. So yeah, I total flip. It was not funny to me anymore. But again, I digress. And so, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. This is a beautiful, beautiful release by Vinegar Syndrome. I can't say enough how much I really enjoy what Vinegar Syndrome has been doing and what they do. I think out of some of the major boutique labels, they're becoming one of my favorites, if not favorite right now, for their releases, and this is no exception. So let's take a look at this beautiful, beautiful artwork here. Try and get that in there or not. And then you've got your spine here. Let's see, which way is this? There you go. Spine, and then the great more artwork here. Dennis Hopper. That's this beautiful. And this is, you see, it's a outer shell slipcover. You've got top there. So that is really nice. So it's extra protection. You've got an actual slipcover here, featuring the original Breakfast Club poster art, which is nice. And in the back here, you've got, I think this was the original teaser poster artwork. And I like, the saw here, you can see it's kind of embossed a bit. You got a little glare. That's kind of cool. So inside is your this, and this is reversible. The other side is this image here, and this is packed with tons of special features. Which kind of, if I can glare off that, you can see those all right there. Kind of freeze that maybe. Take a look at them. It's a 3-disc set, and you've got your 4K, your Blu-ray, and then another Blu-ray with a lot of special features. And as I said, this thing is packed with special features. What I really like, again, what was really cool about the Scream Factory release is that it included pretty much all the special features that were on the MGM DVD, along with some new ones here. Now, as far as I can tell, I didn't really do a quick or a real side-by-side, but I did kind of look at a few things, and it looks like every single special feature on that Scream Factory release has been ported over to this release, along with several new special features. So that's pretty. I mean, this thing is just loaded, and you've got new interviews with Caroline Williams. You've got the things, audio commentaries. You've got the feature-length making of documentary that was on here. What was it called? Oh my goodness! It Runs in the Family, an 85-minute making of documentary. You've got new interviews with Thomas Savini. There's so much stuff on here, like I said, that I can't even go into because I can't read a small print right here. But again, I'll pop that up there for you. Look at all those special features. You want to freeze that and take a look at it. But it's loaded. It's an excellent, excellent release. I'm looking forward to diving into those as well. So, again, beautiful cover, and you've got this great, nice, hard, and this beautiful, beautiful package. So, again, as I said before, another fantastic and beautiful release from Vinegar Syndrome. I'm looking forward to checking out the features and the movie itself. But if you've not picked up TCM2, this is the time to do it. And even if you've picked it up, I think, whether it be the Scream Factory release, I think Arrow may have had a release some years ago, which is pretty good from what I understand. Pick this up anyways, because this is, again, it's 4K. It's all, you get a 4K edition of it. So there's that. You just have the Blu-ray like I do. It's a 4K restoration of the Blu-ray. So, and plus all the extra special features, and this is just a beautiful presentation. So I highly recommend you pick up this release of Vinegar Syndrome, and get it, with this great slipcover, the dual slipcovers, if you will, while you still can. So that is it for this awesome Blu-ray purchase of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 4K Special Edition from Vinegar Syndrome. As always, if you enjoyed us, click thumbs up, share, subscribe, leave me a comment below. Let me know if you picked this up. What's your history with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, or the first one? What do you think of them? Do you think it's better? Do you think it's a lesser? Is it one of your favorites? Whatever the case may be, how you can compare it in the whole over the whole TCM franchise, which I have not seen every movie. I think the last Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie I saw was probably the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. I think it was the sequel to the reboot. I haven't seen any of the runs after that, and I haven't seen the new one that just came out on was it Netflix? I haven't seen that one. Admittedly, it's not one of my favorite franchises, but I do like the first two films a lot. That's as far as I've gone in my collection. But let me know your thoughts, or just say hi. I'll always take hi. So until next time, this is Chuck saying I will see you on the other side.